I work in what you call the cyber and I am pretty sure that a few of you at least have seen a room like this with a lot of screens, a lot of people with multiple screens in front of them, uh, talking to each other about attacks, people with different skills, different information that are gathering and centering to try to stop attacks. So usually when you see something like this, it could be a command center, but it's usually a SOC or again a cyber SOC. SOC stands for Security Operating Center, and cyber. I will explain why this new term cyber SOC has came into play and why we use it. So this room here is not just in the movies. It is really true. We work at that. We at Orange Cyber Defense, we monitor multiple clients from rooms where we are centralized, where we have different roles, different skill sets that are specific on different attacks. And together we form the CyberSOC to be able to protect and prevent attacks from happening to our clients. So in a cyber SOC, you basically will centralize all the roles and knowledge for protecting a company, all its information security. Now, you're not only looking at of KPIs, you're actually acting on them. You're reaching out to the customer at some case and say, okay, we have detected this and this. We need to act now to stop this attack. And we're talking about hacking. We're talking about hackers trying to get into the system, to hurt the system, break the system, steal information, sell them back on the dark web, and etc. This is what we are trying to prevent from happening. So in these type of centers, we prevent, protect, detect, and also respond to ongoing threats. A SOC, you will hear SOC. We do have SOCs as well, where we are mostly focusing. When you talk about SOC, you're mostly focusing on looking at a CM, which is a security information event management, which is basically nice dashboards, usually looking at specific cases that was predefined, a little tweaking now and then, but usually predefined. But when you talk about cyber you're actually adding two things, which is the threat hunting, the threat intelligence. So you're adding two things to the SOC. So the threat hunting is where we don't only look at the streams of what was produced. We actively on a daily go into our clients' networks and serving, etc., running scripts, running different algorithms to find out what can we detect, what kind of threat do we have that we probably are not monitoring, so that we can go upfront and detect breaches, detect loopholes before a hacker detects them. Threat intelligence is that we have a strong team that is looking at the market to actually know what's going on so that we can also integrate outside sources. You don't only secure a organization. Hearing someone's kid, if you can mute it. Uh, I'll mute everyone. Yes. So you're not only looking at one source. You're not only looking at one client infrastructure. You have to, in a cyber SOC, understand what is going on in the cyber world. And this is where we are strong at by taking this intelligence and adding it into our clients. Even if this attack never happened in their infrastructure, we are already protecting ourselves if it happens because we saw it happen somewhere else in the world or in our different clients. Now, we have rooms like this, cyber rooms like and SOCs a bit around the world, and we are still growing. So we have SOCs, we have cyber SOCs, we have the search, which is the response team, and we have some areas that are dedicated to specific attacks. This map is not up to date. There is a few locations that are being open at the moment for cyber specifically within the globe. So within Stockholm, we try to, of course, usually operate the Swedish clients, but it could be that we have to use our skills onto different clients, different places in the world. We do something called follow the sun. Follow the sun means that we have 24/7, 365 days up and running for some of our platforms, meaning that we always have a team that is there. So you can be in Stockholm between business hours, and then after Stockholm, it moves over to the US on their business hours, and then it goes back over to Asia, and it just follows the sun so that an organization is always taken care of by our cyber SOCs and different teams that we have placed in the globe. Now, inside cyber SOC, what does that mean? We have different roles, and I will just point out three main roles and explain a bit what they do. The main one is security analysts. So these are actually the ones that you will see in the movies running around in front of their screens. They are responsible for monitoring the platform, responding to incoming alerts, and doing threat hunting. They have to actually go and search to see what's happening. Even if nothing is happening, we're not just waiting for alerts. We're being upfront. We're going forward to try and find issues. If we do I'm not sure who muted me, but someone muted me. Good now. Um, so security analysis will be the one that will be looking at these screens, responding, having discussions with the client, and improving the threat intelligence of our platforms. So they usually use a lot of them. Today, like Victor mentioned, we use Splunk quite heavily, but it's not just limited to that. We could offer services on different platforms. This here is a Splunk dashboard that you may use. So security posture means what is your security level now? How are you secured at this point? Are things secured or not, basically? Are we increasing in amount of threats or decreasing? Then you have an underlaying, I would call it, is the SIEM specialist. Now, this is mostly what you find in a SOC, the SIEM, the Security and Information Event Management, where we are making sure that the platform that the security analysis are using, we're making sure that that is running. We're making sure that the data, we're making sure that we make sure that it's performing right. If Victor, for instance, and his team are monitoring applications, they are actually writing the queries. We need to make sure that the system can respond to these queries in a good manner. Responding to a query late can result in problems because you may miss event, may miss an attack or arrive too late. So we have to make sure that the system is responding as it should, have some great performance level, and that's the role of the CM specialist. We do, of course, as well, because there are CM specialists that do respond to some customer incidents that are mostly related to the CM platform itself and not necessarily related to alerts. But you could, at some point, mix both. And then you have the part that concerns myself. I am an architect. So we have architects and consultants. These are the ones that are actually building the system. We are the one deploying the system so that the SIEM specialist can do their work and keep it running so that the service analysis, security analysis actually can use the platform. We build these systems so that Victor's team can create great value for our clients. We're the one collects, index, and search. And collect, index the data, and then you have the other platforms that actually search for the data, or different teams that will search the data, or even the client that will search their data. So what I'm showing you here, this architecture I'm showing you here, it is an architecture that is based on Splunk. Where we have the collection part that Victor did mention, where we go and install systems that will get the data, we store the data, we manage the data with this management layer on the side, and we deliver the data to be searchable by the different teams based on what we're trying to do. So these three roles: security analysis, it is something that someone that is really focused on security, that knows what a hack is, what the different type of attacks that can happen. The SIEM specialist is someone that is a bit more technical, or I would say more technical than the security analysis, technical on the platform itself, on how it's running, how the KPIs are built, and etc. And then the architects and consultants within our cybersoc are those that actually build the system. So we are technical. We are the ones that are connected to the servers, that are deploying the applications, the data structures and everything, so that we can use it later on. So three different roles, three different skill sets. Just a few points on example of attacks. I've been talking about attacks in cyberstock. What do we actually monitor? This is really a very small handful. Pick these because you might know these. Phishing attacks. Someone is basically sending you emails, custom emails, trying to make you click on a link or download a file that would then affect your system, or get your password because you entered your password when you clicked on that link. Malware, so a program that will be actually installed on your instances, your server, your laptop, that will harm your equipment. A ransomware, very popular, where attackers will actually go into your system. They will find your sensitive data that you cannot live without. They will hash it, keep it for themselves, and demand you to pay them so that they can release that data. Ddos attacks, very famous, where you will flood servers with requests, hoping that they will fall. Man in the middle, where A and B are communicating, and when the hacker comes in, the communication actually goes to the hacker, then goes to B, so that he can actually recoup sensitive information that can harm you later on. So these are the things that our security analysis are looking at on a daily, just a handful of them here, but they're looking at that, and then CM specialists will make sure the platform is running so that they can search for these. And on my part, the architect and consultants will make sure that we have great platform that responds well so that we can search for these attacks.